I raced to the hospital after receiving a frantic call about Colby's car accident, my mind reeling with worry. When I arrived, the doctor's puzzled expression caught me off guard. We just explained the situation to his wife. What wife? I blurted out, momentarily forgetting my concern for Colby. Who else could he have spoken to if not me, his wife? Confusion gripped me, freezing me in place. My name is Cassie, a 32-year-old office worker. Colby, my 35-year-old husband, and I met through friends and built a life together. Though we hadn't yet had children, we filled our days with cherished moments, exploring new places and dining out on weekends. 3 years into our marriage, things took a turn. Colby's job, which had always involved frequent travel, intensified even further, spilling into weekends. With each passing day he was away, he grew more distant. One evening over dinner, I decided to confront him. You're always working. Can't you pitch in more around the house? We used to share chores when we both worked, but lately it feels like it's all on me. Watch your tone. I work hard, you know. Colby snapped, throwing his fork down angrily. I was stunned into silence as he stormed off to bed. I sensed something was amiss with his sudden outburst. Lately he hadn't been discussing work at all. Colby used to bring back souvenirs and share stories from his trips, but that had dwindled. Was he really working as much as he claimed? I tried not to dwell on it, but the suspicion cast a dark shadow over my heart. A week later, while Colby was in the shower, I brought him some clothes. I'll leave your pajamas on the shelf, okay? As I turned to leave, I noticed his phone on the shelf. Growing more suspicious, I found myself carrying his phone to the living room. I'll put it back before he finishes showering, I assured myself. Quickly, I checked his emails, WhatsApp messages, and photos, but found no signs of infidelity. Relief washed over me, yet guilt gnawed at my conscience. You went through my phone, didn't you? Colby's voice startled me, leaving me speechless. After checking it in the living room, you should have returned it to where you found it. I have tracking enabled. It was used while I was in the shower. It had to be you. I'm sorry. Your behavior has been so strange lately, I couldn't help but wonder. I confess, my apology sincere yet remorseful. Besides, when I checked the contents of my phone, I felt a little anxious. Did you find anything? Nothing at all. I'm just focused on my work. It hurts to be suspected like this. I'm truly sorry, but I can't continue living like this. Let's get a divorce. His sudden declaration stunned me. I'm sorry for looking at your phone without permission, but I'm struggling to understand why you're suddenly talking about divorce. Can we talk about this? If you show sincerity, maybe I'll reconsider, I pleaded, hoping for a heartfelt response from Colby. He smirked, waiting for my reaction. From now on, you'll handle all the cleaning, cooking, and laundry. Basically, you'll become the housekeeper. His demand was unfair, considering my mistake. However, I couldn't agree to it. I've already apologized. Words aren't enough. Show me through your actions, or do you really want a divorce? Fine, I understand. Reluctantly, I agreed to Colby's terms for now, hoping he would eventually forgive me. It had been a month since then. The next day, as I packed for Colby's business trip, he left all the preparations to me while engrossed in his work on the phone. Hey, have you reconsidered the divorce? Yeah, I'll think about it after this trip, Colby responded casually. Lately, I had been shouldering all the chores and handling the bills at his request. It was taking a toll on me, leaving me stressed and exhausted. His words brought a wave of relief. I wish we could go back to taking trips together, I murmured to myself as I packed his luggage. But that Sunday afternoon, when Colby was due back from his trip, everything changed suddenly. The phone rang, and it was the hospital on the line. Are you a relative of Colby? Yes, I am. What happened? My heart raced as the nurse explained that Colby was unconscious after a car accident. She had found our home number in his scheduled book and called me. Without a moment's hesitation, I rushed out of the house and headed straight to the hospital. Please let him be okay, I prayed silently as I arrived at the hospital and was directed to a conference room. How is my husband? I asked anxiously as I entered, confusion clouding my thoughts and making my heartbeat thunder in my ears. We just briefed his wife on the situation, the doctor replied, casting me a puzzled look. What? I exclaimed in shock at the doctor's unexpected revelation. What are you saying? The doctor explained that Colby was in the car with another woman during the accident. Both were unconscious. Yes, I'm so sorry, I admitted, finally convinced by the evidence she showed me. As she opened up, she introduced herself as Effie, revealing she worked for one of Colby's client companies. He had deceived her into believing he was single and they had been in a relationship for a year. They were even planning to marry soon and had purchased a condo together. He bought a condo. Yes, we picked it out together. He said he would take care of everything. The shock hit me hard. He must have been using the money I contributed to our household expenses for that condo. I had told the doctor I was his wife because I had no idea he was already married. I'm truly sorry. Effie apologized, her voice filled with sincerity and tears threatening to fall. Initially, I had wanted to confront and blame his mistress, but now I felt more pity than anger towards her. She, too, had fallen victim to Colby's deceit. Please don't blame yourself. You were deceived by him just like I was. Instead, I have a favor to ask. I proposed to Effie, who regarded me with uncertainty. What do you say we team up to get back at Colby? Her expression shifted to confusion at my unexpected suggestion. I don't want anything to do with a liar like Colby anymore. Effie cautiously agreed to my proposal. I'm sure she feels some anger towards him too. I can't let this go unanswered. With that settled, we exchanged grins and shook hands, plotting our revenge. Starting the next day, I continued to care for Colby as if nothing had changed. Effie also visited him discreetly when I wasn't around, ensuring he remained oblivious. Throughout it all, Colby continued to treat me poorly. Finally, the day of his discharge arrived, and I drove him home. Drive more carefully. I'm injured, you know, he remarked casually from the passenger seat. You're so useless, Colby sighed loudly, his attention already drifting to his phone, likely texting Effie. He seemed so carefree, unaware of everything. I couldn't help but smirk as I accelerated the car. Upon arriving home, I pressed the doorbell. Colby smirked. No one's home, you know. But today was different. Welcome home, Effie greeted him as she opened the door. What? Why? Colby looked bewildered as Effie ushered him into the living room. Even after he sat down, he remained speechless. What's going on? Colby finally managed to ask. We met the day you were hospitalized. We've become good friends, I explained calmly. What are you two planning? His suspicion was palpable. We're not planning anything sinister. We just want to discuss the future, I clarified as Effie and I sat facing Colby, who started to lose his composure. What's going on? You've been having an affair, haven't you? Pretending to be on business trips while actually with her. You've even bought a condo to live together. You threatened divorce just to be with Effie, I accused, my voice tinged with hurt and anger. Colby fell silent for a moment before defiantly meeting my gaze. Of course, I'd rather be with a younger woman like Effie than with an old hack like you. So, you're going to divorce me? I nodded, trying to mask my own hurt. We were planning to get married soon, so it all works out, right, Effie? Colby smiled at her, but she remained expressionless. I won't marry you, Colby, Effie stated firmly. What? I almost chuckled at Colby's stunned expression. You lied to Effie about being single, and now you think you can marry her. But you're leaving me, Effie. There's nothing stopping us now. Effie let out a deep sigh. After seeing how you treat your wife, I have no desire to marry you. I can't subject myself to that, Effie said firmly, her tone resolute. Colby's pleading tone sent a shiver down my spine. Why did you bring Effie here? You're confusing her. Fix this. Actually, I'm glad Effie could see the truth for herself. And here are the divorce papers. I've signed and stamped them already. You just need to do your part, I stated calmly, handing over the paperwork. It seemed Colby had been lost in a fantasy of a blissful life with Effie, oblivious to the practical and emotional consequences. Of course, you'll have to pay. You had an affair. I have plenty of evidence, including WhatsApp messages and photos from Effie, I stated firmly. No way. I'll also be seeking damages since you deceived me into thinking we were in a serious relationship with plans to marry. Being with a cheater like you makes my skin crawl. Don't ever contact me again. Between Effie and me, you're looking at about $4,000 in damages. Just so you know, I concluded, my voice unwavering. Initially trembling with anger, Colby's knees buckled, and he began to shake with anxiety. That's impossible. I just bought a condo. That's not our problem, Effie asserted as we stood over Colby, who hesitated before finally crawling over to my side. I made a mistake, okay? It was a moment of weakness. I'll never cheat again. Please give me another chance, he pleaded, looking up at me with clasped hands as if praying. Stand up, I commanded, my disgust mounting at his pleading expression. You were ready to leave me. How can I trust anything you say? Don't bother. From now on, communicate through my lawyer. And as for that condo, it's marital property, so we'll be splitting that too. What? What is this? Colby seemed stunned, clearly having daydreamed about a blissful life with Effie without considering the financial implications. Leaving our lawyer's business card on the table in front of him, Effie and I stood up and walked away. Wait, what am I supposed to do if both of you leave me? My leg isn't even healed yet. Colby's desperate plea echoed down the hallway, followed by a loud thud as he stumbled with his crutches. Effie and I exchanged a glance but remained unmoved, leaving him to struggle on his own. I never want to see your face again. Goodbye, I declared firmly as we walked away, leaving Colby behind. Later, the divorce proceeded smoothly, and I successfully claimed damages in court. News spread through his workplace, leading to Colby's suspension for misusing company resources to contact his mistress. Eventually, he resigned. The condo he purchased with Effie was sold to cover the court-ordered damages, leaving him burdened with a substantial debt, job hunting, and living frugally in a modest apartment. Meanwhile, Effie found happiness with a wonderful man and is now in a promising relationship with marriage on the horizon. I sincerely wish her the best. Life has proven to be unpredictable, and I never imagined finding myself in such a situation. Despite uncertainties about the future, I've resolved to cherish each day and make the most of it.